Good morning, guys. This is February's site meeting. We're going to go through this. We don't have a whole lot for you today, but we have attendance listed there. You can read that for yourselves. The first ITERS tip of the month is number 28, staff-child interaction. So no harsh tones, threats, sarcastic comments, even empty threats. You're not going to go outside if you don't clean up. You're not going to eat lunch if you don't share your toys. So things like that. Staff need to be patient, calm, cheerful with children, and the atmosphere is relaxed and pleasant. Staff are responsive to children's needs and requests. When a child cries, they are expressing a need. It is up to us as the adult to figure out what's wrong with them, what is that need, how can I meet it. It needs to be addressed. It's not that they're spoiled or what have you. We need to figure out what is upsetting them. Anything else on that?
And it shouldn't, crying is not necessarily a negative behavior in children. A lot of times we act like it's a negative behavior. We say, don't cry, don't do that. But what they're doing is, like Jennifer said, they're just expressing a need to us, and we need to find out why they're crying and what we can do to comfort them. You can't always make them stop crying because they're upset about something, and it's as real to them as it is to an adult when they're upset about something. But it is our responsibility and our privilege to help them learn to control their emotions, to help them understand that we're there for them. Coming soon to YouTube will be short TSG training tutorials. We talked about these last month, and we ran into some technical difficulties with getting these done, but we haven't given up. We should be able to continue them soon. Those will be sent to your directors and assigned to you at your director's discretion. There'll be things like on-the-spot observation, on-the-spot documentation, teach and assess. Sometimes you just kind of forget, and you just need need something that'll help you remember. And in addition to those, we're always available. If you need any help with TSG, all you have to do is call. We'll come by. Most of the time we'll be there that week to help you work through what you need to work through. We don't want TSG to be a constant headache for you. We want it to be something that you feel confident with and that you can do, and that you realize how important that assessment piece is to our children.
Next is health and safety checks are in progress. If you've had yours, your director does get a detailed report from that health specialist on what the findings were. So we encourage you to speak to your director, see how your classroom did, just so you can learn what they're looking for, what needs to be checked on a regular basis, and what you need in your first aid bag, all of those things. So please talk to your director about that once it's been completed.
This sign off for this site meeting, will be due on March 11th. Be sure that you viewed it. Be sure that you sign the sign off sheet. It's really important to us that we get those on time.
Your second home visits are due February 28th, and May 8th, 2020, the spring TSG checkpoints are due. Please be sure that documentation is part of your daily routine. So every day you should be doing some documentation if you do teach and assess or on the spot or whatever, but you need to be documenting those experiences daily.
It's really difficult to assess accurately when you wait until the very end and you don't remember. It's hard to remember what children did in your classroom. When you're using that teach and assess, it needs to be done. Hopefully it's done the day that you use that activity, that you put down in there, that you document what children did, what they said, where they were on the continuum, so that you know that you have accurate documentation.
March 5th is the CDA class begins at OVEC. That's the Thursday night class. Please remember CCP pre-service is July 13th through the 16th. And our next directors meeting is February 26th from 11:30 to 4. That's for your directors. And our next program planning committee meeting is March 13th.
We made a list here, or included the list of people to contact if you have questions or if you need anything. And that takes us to our school readiness goal for this month. It's number 2 on the list. Children will engage in positive interactions through secure relationships with consistent, responsive adults. That's TSG. That aligns with TSG Objective 2A, forms relationships with adults. Conscious disciplines, I love you rituals are absolutely fantastic for engaging children in relationship building. There are many resources available on the Conscious Discipline website. You can see it listed there. You can even sign up for a free resource membership where you can find songs, webinars, printables, and videos. And I think you get an email with new I love you rituals. Those are super important to kids. I saw a really, really cute one this week. I couldn't find it to link you to it, but it was just the teacher. She was clapping hands with the children, and she was saying, they were 2-year-olds. They look like 2-year-olds. And she was saying, bread and butter, blackberry jam, say I love you as fast as you can. And then the children were racing to say I love you, to say it faster than she could say it. I mean, how cute is that, and how easy is that, just to remind children that they're loved, that they're important in the classroom. Those daily I love you rituals, I just think they're priceless.
Next on the list is curriculum fidelity. We are going to work on this month number 3E. The art area includes a variety of materials that correspond to children's interests and abilities. Bare floor space or child-sized tables for mobile infants and young toddlers are protected, or a protected art space for older toddlers and twos. Materials that invite exploration and experimentation, such as fabric scraps for young infants, jumbo crayons, and chalk for mobile infants and toddlers, specific tools for art creation for twos, an uncluttered display of children's artwork. So some action steps to address that goal would be allow children to use material in their own way. We've talked about process art. So you guys know the difference between product versus process. Make safe art materials accessible to children 18 months and older. ITERS requires at least one drawing material accessible to children at least 24 months of age. Example, sufficient number of crayons or markers in usable condition, along with paper or other suitable drawing surface. Use words and actions to teach children how to use art materials.
Always remember to be sure that those art materials are safe. A lot of times I go into classrooms and children have access to the marker caps, and sometimes you see kids put those in their mouths. So be sure that you're using what's age appropriate for your classroom. And one thing I liked on here, because we struggle with art for infants, and I know that that's not a requirement on ITERS, but we also know that when you do things with art with infants, it really helps their development, and they love it. It's a fun experience for the teacher and the infant. And I noticed on this curriculum fidelity document, it said fabric scraps for young infants. How much fun for children to feel those things, and it's not something that they can get hurt on, not something you have to worry about them putting in their mouth, making a big mess with. Just feeling those different textures, velvet and flannel and things that children really love. I think that was a great idea on here. I hadn't thought about that in a while. So having those art things out for them to touch and to see is important. And you can talk about the patterns in them, the feeling of them, how they look and how they smell, and kids love that kind of stuff. Even young infants love that.
Awesome. That's all we have for you. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.